things is that practice as a partner. A partner हम बोल तो दे रहे हैं that find yourself a partner. Partner मिल कहाँ रहे हैं? मतलब point. Let's start. So welcome Niyati. Welcome to Niyati English Express as I am the host today for the
Yeah,
for the
thank you so
session.
much. Thank you so much for inviting me to my channel. It's an honor to be on
Exactly.
my channel. Yeah.
Absolutely. And trust me, the viewers would love to having me as a host and interviewing you. So let's get started with the very first question, and I'll keep on looking down on my diary. So never mind
Oh,
that.
okay.
And
So there
very
are
first,
questions, and you wrote a 9 to 10 page script. That's insane.
you will get it. You will get it. And the very first thing, again, before we get
Mm,
started, actually, first of all, I want to thank you for our last session
mm,
from on the behalf of me and on the behalf of viewers as well, because they enjoyed it. Okay.
mm,
And you just can't, I just can't thank you enough, because so I actually wanted to thank you personally, but I think because I got the popularity from your channel, so I think you deserve this thanking with the with along with the viewers as well. That आपके वजह से I have got like almost 15 students enrolled because of your channel, and all of them came watching your videos, each one of them. So whenever they used to call me, and I was like, whose video did you watch? Niyati ma'am ka video. And I was like, okay, fine. So I have got almost like 50 calls, 40 calls. Out of that, I was able to enroll like 15 different students. Day before yesterday that I spoke with you, like in the evening time, the guy that
mm,
called me, he also enrolled it
mm.
last like that day itself during the night. So because of you and your humbleness, see the opportunity that people got to know me was like a tremendous thing. I don't know how what else as a statement I should be saying you to thank you, but I think
Yeah.
just feel it,
Okay.
okay? My
No,
gratitude and everything to you.
thank you so much. I appreciate it, but I think it was all you for sure because I honestly I have conversation with so many people over my channel. I think I've made over like 90 videos and that
Yeah.
video doing amazing. Obviously there was a reason that that video was set apart from other videos, and it was you. It was because you joined the session and the way you carried the session, it was awesome. Because my mom also watches our videos, my
Okay.
videos, and she specifically said like this video for she was referring to our video, like this video is really cool. She watched it multiple times. So
Wow.
I think viewers felt that. So it was all you. But thank you so much for saying that. Yeah.
Absolutely. And again, I'm sorry, I'm just chewing things because I haven't eaten like since morning. I've been very busy. And happy Navratri to everyone from West Bengal, because over here is Durga Puja right now and things are like very happy. You know, the atmosphere, the families are happy, all these family gatherings and everything. But anyways, what are we going to talk about? The point is coming. So in the
Mm,
last session, if you remember, we spoke about how to learn English for the learners,
mm,
if you see. But today it is very different. So it is not another video wherein we are coming up with some other 10 different, 15 different points. Even though the last video was like something very, genuine or like the point,
mm.
really the exact point. But I don't want to come with another 10 different points for the learners to learn English. But today we are going to talk about what we as a teacher, because there hasn't been any single video out there in the internet or any English teacher
Mm,
talking about what we as an English teacher should have our responsibilities to teach student in the right manner,
mm.
right? So we are going to deep dive into the responsibilities of the right way of teaching English to our learners, and also letting you know the session will be in the English way again. So let's start with the very first question. Like, I mean, when students reached out to me after watching your podcast, okay,
Mm,
point is that after even me saying such a clarity and everything, they came. So every call was with one thing was very common. Even who knew how to speak good English, they still had this feeling within them that they are not a good speaker. After a call ends, I was like, "भाई मैं तुझे सिखाऊं क्या? English तो
mm,
you are fine. You are far much better than me. Actually, I have got people reaching out to me to teach them English, whose English are far more better than me. Literally, from good corporate background and everything. And I was like, what to teach them exactly? But it
mm,
was something else. So there is a difference between English and there's a difference between communication, is what I've understood. There is a slight difference. you knowing English and then you speaking about the communication part. So that made me question one thing. Is there out there, there are millions of videos if we try to take out the content of
Hmm.
people teaching the correct way of learning English. I mean, अभी तक तो बैन लग जानी चाहिए थी for no more videos of how to learn the correct form of English, because itni content there are available in the internet by which if people will consume it, there should be no question should be arised in their mind that what is the correct way of learning English. And
Hmm.
every other guy who comes up and calls me, I need to, before I pitch them or even they talk about, I have genuinely never pitched about my classes to any of the person that reached out to me. Matlab, I used to feel like I don't want to sound salesy over here, but before I pitch in at the very end of my classes, or even they talk about like, do you give any classes or something? 10 to 20 minutes, the call used to happen like me figure like, taking their doubt, like clearing their doubts, confusions about learning English and everything, which I've already spoken on the video. And that made me question is that why is this even happening? Even the best of the teachers we have in India and then, internationally. But हम लोगों की वो doubt क्यों नहीं खत्म कर पा रहे हैं? What do you have to
Hmm.
say on that?
Honestly, what happens is that when people reach out to me, and the most common type of questions are like, how do we learn English? And the crazy thing is, like, when you Google this or when you search this on YouTube, you will
Yeah,
find hundreds and hundreds and thousands of videos on how to learn English. Despite that, people have this doubt because what happens is people don't follow their own specific paths. What people do is that they would take it from here and there, and they'd get super confused about like what path to go on. And they'd be like, well, this worked for this person, why is this not working for me? And they get frustrated, and then again they are back to square one, like, how do we learn English? Well, it maybe it was not supposed to work for you. So that's why I always tell them, like, whenever they come up to me and they're like, just give me in points, like, how do I learn English? And I'm like, there are no specific points that I can tell you, like, this is the exact script that you have to follow and you'll become fluent. Because our brains work differently, we comprehend things differently. So there is no one particular way that I could guarantee that this is definitely going to work out for you. That's why I always tell them, like, try as many things as you can and make sure that you are interested in what you're doing and not make it sound like homework or burden. Because as soon as it starts to give you that feeling of, I have to do this, like, it's over, it's pretty much over right there. Because you are supposed to enjoy this
yeah.
journey of learning English. And I believe in learning English in a natural way, how a kid learns a new language. So,
Kids कैसे सीखते हैं?
well, it's you wouldn't basically put a grammar book in front of a child and be like, you know what? When you go through this grammar book, you're going to become fluent. Nothing happens of that sort. They are basically just listening to what's happening around, and
Yeah,
gradually after, like, they start making sense in their mind, like, okay, this is how we form the structure of this particular sentence, okay, and they get a sense, and then they start speaking small broken sentences. So I think maybe I posted this video yesterday. People don't know how to think in English. I think this is a very, very crucial thing. I personally felt like as soon as I started thinking in English, as soon as I trained my brain how to think in English, things changed for me. I didn't have to put in as much as effort as other people do. Because, like, my mom is also learning this language, and she's like, what do you mean, how do I think in English? How is that
right.
possible? So because what people do is like, oh well, first I need to focus on grammar. Once I perfect my grammar, maybe then I'll start thinking in English. Like, that's not how it works. That's definitely not how it works.
Okay.
Yeah, so I believe in going with the natural flow, which sometimes I think people are not able to understand, because I get a lot of comments like, why are you saying that grammar is not important? A lot of comments of this sort. And I am like, you know what? If you think grammar is good, then just go with it. Like, I'm not saying, I'm not against it. It's perfect if you are able to learn grammar and you want to go with that way.
Sure.
However, I know that this does not work for everybody, because we had grammar in school. It didn't make sense to anybody. I
It
can
didn't.
assure you, for all the students. Yeah, we learned it all in our own natural way that interested us. that made us feel good about ourselves. And that's what kept us going on this journey. So, yeah, I feel like I
Well,
might have.
just to, nahi, trust me, you know, we talked about it and we'll have to stretch it because this conversation is going to be longer than any of your session that had been so far. So
Yeah.
exaggerate as much as possible in terms of, but give your valid
Mm-hmm.
points because at the end of the day, we are not trying to, like, see, again, I'll be very fact about it.
Mm-hmm.
All our sessions, how it happens, like, generally, this is what happens. I am saying something and then you being humble. Yeah, I agree with you. आज यहाँ agree नहीं करेंगे आज यहाँ viewers को literally will give them the value that they actually deserve. Now you made it a point that people don't understand, people do this, people are who we are referring to, learners,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Yeah.
Who made them do that or who made them understand that, whose responsibility it is to give them the right way. अब वो कर क्यों रहे, people are not understanding despite our videos. तो उसमें गलती किसकी है, people की है, हमारे हम teachers की है? What do you have to say on that part?
Hmm. Firstly, I would say, like, even before YouTube, I would say it all goes back to your school, honestly speaking, because they emphasize on the fact that this is the particular method you have to follow, and they get so confused because it does not work out for them. And I mean, I genuinely don't know, because I always tell people like how things worked out for me, how things can work out for you. And I try to constantly get more feedback from people, like, just let me know how you learn English. And it's always surprising because people come up with something different that I've never heard before. And I'm like, well, that's a really cool way of learning English. And I always share that with the viewers. But I think if people are still, the learners, if they're still not able to get it, I think somewhere we are still at fault at the way we are articulating the facts. It could be so. Yeah.
Good that you said it because we are on the same page right now. If you would have taken a
Mm.
teacher's side, then I would have made it a little bit more argumentative. But
Oh.
anyways, because you said before the internet, the reason I'm saying it is kal tak there was no internet. It was fine.
Mm.
Whatever was happening was, nobody knew. Today, because
Mm.
of the internet, because of our video, 57K people have watched it. Now, if we don't take up the responsibility to convey the right message, we are creating a mess in a mass level as a digital creator.
Mm.
So it is our more than traditional teachers. It is our responsibility, far more greater responsibility that we need to convey the right message for the people, so
Mm.
that they understand it because they are watching us. 35 मिनट की podcast देख रहे हैं, and if we are trying to give them like some another bullshit, it wouldn't make sense. And this is what is happening in India. I'm not going to
Mm.
talk about any other outside country, but in India itself, this is the thing is happening. So even the viewers, do let us know in the comments if we are talking based on the facts, because your comments are going to let me know if the things that I'm talking about are making sense or not, or whether we are trying to, whether we are able to deliver the right information to you or not.
Yeah,
Saying
for
that,
sure.
now that we have understood that it is somewhere or the other the fault of the teachers,
Mm.
what do you think the correct form should be? Ab, in thinking, start thinking in English, shadowing, सारी चीजें बता रखी है हमने,
Mm.
सारी चीजें हमने नहीं करी तो किसने कर रखी है इन द इंटरनेट. So what will be a different curriculum that if you have to start your English teaching like academy or like coaching, what differences you would bring out to kill this thing, and then you would make sure that your students are getting the best of it, without getting diverted or confused. What are the different things that you would do in your classes, if I have to ask you?
Yeah, you know what happens with all the thinking and shadowing practice and everything? People suddenly, not suddenly, I mean gradually go into this passive learning mode. They're like, okay, and they don't set deadlines from for themselves. That's the biggest thing. They would never set deadlines, and then what happens is that it is not your priority anymore. It's like you are doing other things, and you're like, well, yeah, I'll be learning English when I get time. I mean, that should have been your priority in the first place, but it's not anymore because you don't set a deadline for yourself, and you gradually go into the passive learning mode. You don't interact with people anymore. So, what happens is that Personally, for me, I can say that I've been listening to English for such a long time, and despite that I didn't know if I could speak English or not. Like you mentioned, one of the students approached you and he was pretty good at it, but he didn't even know that. He didn't have the confidence. This happens when you don't step out of your comfort zone to volunteer to actually speak in front of people. So you don't even know if you're good at it or not. I mean, you could be talking to yourself in long paragraphs, perfect, fluent grammar, absolutely amazing in your room, and then you still wouldn't know if you can speak or not. Because, I mean, at the end of the day, we are all learning English so that we can go out of our houses, interact with people in real time. And that just does
Exactly.
not happen until and unless you're going to make yourself feel that feeling of being uncomfortable, that feeling that you are dumb. When you feel that, that's the phase, that's the difficult phase you have to go through, um, to eventually reach the point of the active learning, which is like, for example, we are doing right now. We are having a one conversation. You are thinking something instantly. You're keeping your points. I'm listening and I'm responding to you. So that's something that people don't do.
मैं बता रहा हूँ that people don't do it because कितने टीचर्स ये बोलते हैं आई हैव नेवर केम अक्रॉस विद वीडियोस वेयर पीपल आर इंसिस्टिंग लिटरली लाइक सी एक टीचर के बोलने से नहीं होगा द रीजन आई एम ब्रिंगिंग दिस होल टीचर टॉपिक इज बिकॉज if I say I'm the best teacher, best English teacher, I would be a fool to say that.
Hmm.
We are talking about on a mass level because English, as a point of English teacher, there are lots of other things as important for the growth of this country or like the youth. But we as
Hmm.
an English teacher, let's stick to our topic. आज के टाइम पे रोजगारी जा रही है अच्छे खासे पढ़ने वाले लोगों की बिकॉज ऑफ इंग्लिश एज अ लैंग्वेज सो इंग्लिश इज अ बिग प्रॉब्लम फॉर आवर कंट्री और फॉर अ यूथ इन टर्म्स ऑफ द एजुकेशन लेवल
Hmm.
सो एक टीचर बोले दैट गो आउट देयर एंड स्पीक विद पीपल नहीं होगा as a teacher as a community of teachers everybody have to insist people that go out there and
Hmm.
speak with people before we go with the rapid session I actually
Hmm.
want to talk about manifestation thing how much do you believe in manifestation or if you have any personal experience in terms of manifesting things and
Hmm.
anything
I don't believe in manifestation at all. Like, absolutely zero. I have talked to a couple of people and they're like, well, things have happened for us because we manifested. I don't get it. Honestly, it's like daydreaming. So you're saying that you're sitting in a chair and you're dreaming about all these things and you're not actually putting in the effort, it's not going to work out. Maybe I got the definition of manifestation wrong. I don't know. However, I believe in the psychology of it when, like, basically you're visualizing like this is how you're going to do things. And so subconsciously you're training your brain to take one step at a time for the goal you've set. However, uh, according to what
yeah
people say, manifestation is the. I still remember the first ever reel I saw on manifestation was like 2 years ago on Instagram, I think. Or
right
yeah, so it was about a woman saying that you know what, like make a journal, write down everything that you want to achieve within one
right
year, and then write it down and then keep it like under your pillow before you sleep and see how it's going to like the universe, its planets are going to align, and after 1 year you'll open the diary and you'll be shocked that things have come. I was like, what? And it's become a trending word among Gen Z. Manifestation, like I manifested this. I'm here because, well, no, you obviously put in the hard work. I mean, you can set a goal and then you can
yeah
move towards it gradually. So I'm not saying that I don't believe in the psychology. Obviously, well, yeah, you have to visualize where you want to be so that you get the motivation to do the hard work. Because I personally feel like just manifestation, from what I get from the definition, is just daydreaming and nothing else. And you're not really going to achieve anything. Because believe me, I'm such a big daydreamer. Nothing becomes true until and unless I have been meaning to start this YouTube channel for such a long time. I think
okay
like 5 years or so. I was like, I'm gonna be on social media. I want to share my opinions because I love doing that. I love when people listen to me. I didn't do
right
anything for that. It was only until like 6 months ago my mom pushed me towards it. She was like, just start the channel. I was like, I'm not sure if I'll keep going, but I'm gonna start it. Let's see how it goes.
right
It was when I clicked, I genuinely created the channel, I named the channel, I started speaking in front of the camera, is when things
right
happened. It's not like I manifested this, like It doesn't work. Believe me, I did that for 5 years or so. Doesn't work like that. I don't want to offend anybody. I'm just saying, like, I
प्रॉफिट की तो बात नहीं है,
yeah.
but if I'll say today we are here on this session is because of your daydreaming for these 5 years that you did. Actually, this is
Okay,
how
so
manifestation
oh,
works.
so you're a big manifestor, whatever they are called. Okay.
See, point is not 1 year or 2 year because you didn't give it a date, na. But actually, it works. If you give it a date, it will happen. But again, there is a slight wrong definition that you have made yourself. That as a bad bad ke sitting in a chair and you will think it as a first January
No,
you are
it's,
going like
you know what? Like, I Googled it as well because I was like, what is going on? And it literally
hmm,
says, like, the method to achieve things, to quote unquote manifest, is to write it down somewhere and make sure, like, believe in that pen that you're writing it from, that whatever you write from this pen is going to happen. It's gonna be true. And then speak in front of the mirror as soon as you wake up, like, I am this, I am the CEO, or whatever you want to achieve. And you don't really talk about the hard work in the definition. So how would I believe that? So that's the thing.
हाँ.
Like, that's what I'm
अब
saying.
see, hard work you can't talk about. I mean, if I say that I've manifested this and that looks good or that sounds good on the internet, if I said this is what I did in this 1 year of the journey, it wouldn't make sense because it really takes in the effort to get
Yeah.
that thing manifested. But hard work lagti hai, for sure. There is came with the manifestation thing all of a sudden. What does it make relevant
Hmm.
to our conversation and our session today? That's the whole point.
Hmm.
That when we finished our session, ठीक है? अब this me giving in so much of effort. So what I did is after we like finishing our session, first one, I went onto your channel and I saw किसके सबसे ज्यादा views आए हैं आपके चैनल पे, and I saw
Hmm.
Richie's English सबसे ज्यादा
Hmm.
views उसी के आए हैं आपके चैनल पे,
It's
the
almost
very
the
first one.
same. You both have like 57.
Yes,
Hmm.
that's the whole point. मैंने
Hmm.
बोला लिटरली मन मन में कि either it is above 50 और मोर
Hmm.
देन हर, मतलब ऐसा था कि मुझे फेमस होना था लिटरली आई हैव मैनिफेस्टेड. एंड
Hmm.
मैनिफेस्टेशन कैसे होता है, एवरी डे आई यूज टू विजिट योर चैनल, एवरी डे आई यूज टू सी फॉर द पास्ट 1 or 2 months, every day, like twice or thrice in a day I used to visit your channel. I used to look up
Hmm.
the newest comments. I myself used to answer the questions on the comments that people used to ask on my video, and I
Hmm.
did that. And just see the universe works. कांटा ठीक 57 पे जाके ही रुका.
What do you mean? What is, like, how
Because
universe
I have
works
been,
on this?
I don't know how did universe worked it, but what I wanted, I got it. I was comparing myself with Richie's video.
Hmm.
I haven't watched Richie's video. The only thing that I watched is that 57K.
Hmm.
And I just used to count the numbers of my views.
Hmm.
And you see, now 57 से आगे बढ़ रहा है, now वो घट रहा है. It stayed there. That is what I wanted to make the point, and that is why I came up with this manifestation thing, because I actually wanted to say this,
Okay.
and it worked fine. A
Hmm.
small example and something I only come up with, or I only share things which I personally have experienced. I would never say anything out of
Hmm.
the blue. So this was it, and let's end the topic here. I just wanted to make this whole point, and I'm very happy when I saw that we reached
Yeah.
57K.
Hmm.
And I was like, I'm done. That is when I reached out to you, for the
Hmm.
second session and everything.
Hmm.
So let's come up with some rapid questions here. And you posted out a story yesterday of renting out a movie. Was that really true? Of that Vivek
Yeah.
Oberoi?
Yes. It's still there. Like, yeah.
So who's your favorite actor? For
In
me, for the viewers.
Okay, so, like, are we talking about just the Bollywood?
No, Hollywood as well.
Hmm.
Hollywood पे कोई अच्छा लगता भी है क्या? मतलब I personally don't have a preference, but still
Yeah, no, no,
go with
that's
it.
okay. Uh, no, actually, okay, I know it's a rapid fire, but I just wanted to, like, share what happened. I watched Satya, like, maybe in 2010 or something. Maybe it was playing on TV, and I didn't even remember the
Right.
story. And then I don't really get Bollywood edits in my feed. Like I've,
Mm-hmm.
like how people say, built it brick by brick. Like, do
Are you
not get.
recording this video?
Yeah, it's getting recorded. Why?
Yeah. Okay. Fine.
Yeah. So what was I saying? Yeah. And then I saw this edit and I was like, well, Rani Mukherjee so looks so pretty and Vivek Oberoi looks so cool. I've never, because like, the last time I looked at him was like at the age of like maybe 10 or 12. The last movie of him I saw was the Krish 3, where he played that villain card.
Yeah.
And I never, so I was like, you know what, like they look so cool together. They are so good looking. I have got to watch this movie again because there was so much hype about this movie. There's always been
Right.
like, oh, Satya, that musical romantic comedy, not comedy, sorry, the musical, what is it called? There's a specific genre, uh,
Right.
musical
I'm not so good with
masterpiece.
the
The
vocabularies,
musical
but
masterpiece.
again,
That's what this movie is called. And I was like, okay. And then I was so hesitant because I've never done this before. Like, why would I rent a movie? And that, let alone like a Bollywood movie. And I was like, okay, like I'm just okay. And I did it. And I watched the movie. And yeah, I watched the movie. I it wasn't like the best movie ever, but it's definitely better than the whatever
I
movies are
rented a
made these
movie,
days.
a Bollywood movie, only once, and
You
that was
did?
Virana.
Okay, what's like,
It was a Virana ghost movie. It's a very old
okay.
movie.
Hmm.
And tell us some one good thing about you of Niyati ma'am
Good thing
for the
about
viewers,
me,
for me.
good
Yeah,
thing about me, I think, is that I try to make people as comfortable as I can in front of me. Because uh, even if somebody pronounces my name wrong, I'm like, you know what? It happens because Niyati is not that much of a common name. People say that wrong all the time. And like anything, because I know what happens if I'm joining somebody and if that person is being nice to me, if they're making me feel comfortable, I'm gonna be like, they are the nicest people ever. Like I love them, I admire them. So I just want to be like them. Making people comfortable is something that, uh, especially when it comes to the English language, because what happens in India, knowing English is a flex. I mean, it should be, but
exactly.
what people do is that. I still remember the first day of my college. I think I've talked about this before, but this girl comes up to me. There was absolutely no reason for her to talk to me in English because we were talking to each other in Hindi. However, she decides to speak to me in English. And I was like, okay, well, if you are speaking English, that's when I will speak English. Otherwise, there is no point. And so I started speaking English and she was not that fluent. And then she stopped and she switched. And I was like, well, okay. So, like the kind of flex thing which is going on in India has been going on for a long time. And yeah, I went off the track. But what
Right.
I was saying is that I will talk to people in Hindi if they are comfortable in that. If they prefer English, that's when I will switch to English. Like that's the only thing. So making people comfortable, I'm never really going to go up to somebody and start speaking English. These kind of people that do that, they don't really have in-depth knowledge of this language. The more you talk to them, you will get to know like they are making basic grammar mistakes. So it's the similar like flexing money. When you don't really have money, you will flaunt it more on social media. But when you genuinely are rich, you are
Wow.
not really going to be flaunting it, right? So that's what was the question? What were you talking about? Yeah, so the good quality. It's just you clapped.
Nice. Nice point. Yeah,
Thanks.
it was a nice point that you made it.
Thanks.
So, anyways, moving on to one bad thing about you.
Hmm.
It is
Uh,
also a thing. A person
yes.
knowing about his or
You
her
know,
bad thing.
yeah, the bad thing about me is that I quit things very soon. Like, take a very basic example, like, for example, guitar. I would get the craze, and within a week, I'll lose interest. Or I mean, yeah. I also in 2020, I was like, I went crazy. I was like, I'm gonna learn Spanish, and I'm gonna be so good at it. And within 1 week, like I lost all the interest. So like for that 1 week, I was like, everybody, we are all going to try to talk in Spanish, and me and my brother would be like, yeah, estoy muy bien, gracias, and we would be just, like saying Are you okay?
ठीक है हाँ.
Yeah.
That was
So
good.
yeah. So no, I'm just giving an example. Like that would definitely. But this is something that I've been working on even for my YouTube channel. This channel was pretty much non-existent. I created it. If you go to my channel, you'll see that it was created in 2024. However, I
Right.
started posting in 2025 because, and I've created 10 similar channels to this because I was always like, I'm going to start and then I'd lose interest. But for this one, somehow I just stayed. Thank God I stayed. Up, apart from, yeah, so basically that's the thing. That's the negative thing about me, but that I've been trying to work upon. Yeah.
Talking about Spanish thing, I'll tell you, back in
Hmm.
2020, when I actually started speaking with people from different countries.
Hmm.
So I was working for US clients, and
Hmm.
in US, apart from English, people speak Espanol or Spanish. Like you would find the second most spoken language in the US is Spanish or Espanol.
Hmm.
Slight difference. And somehow I made a friend. She was from
Hmm.
Agra, have been living in the Spain for like her childhood.
Hmm.
बंदे के साथ मैंने दोस्ती करी just to learn Spanish.
Hmm.
We were friends for like 4 years before she got married.
Hmm.
ये जो आपने जो चार वर्ड भी बोले ना, वो मुझे वो भी मैंने वो भी नहीं सीखी उससे.
Acha. Why?
मैंने वो भी. So I am also a kind of a person like that ना, who haven't been as disciplined as I am today. It took me a
Hmm.
good number of years of procrastination finally to be, become disciplined. So just when you said Spanish thing, so that thing came into my mind. But
Hmm.
nice thing. Moving
Hmm.
forward, tell us one of the most funny incident of your childhood, if any, that is something very close to your memory.
Funny incident. I mean, there are like the funniest ones, there are like inside jokes
नहीं,
within me and
something
my
very
family. But like a funny incident, uh,
school
I
time.
can't recall any. Like, yeah, my school was traumatizing, not funny for me. So like,
Yeah.
um, no,
Okay.
I should have
So you
remembered one,
won't.
but I don't remember any like funny incident. I really don't.
Cool. We can move forward.
But there's a
One
crazy
last
one if you
question.
want. Like, there's a crazy one. It's not funny. If you want to hear that, like, I could share,
Please go ahead. Please go ahead. Yeah.
which I've probably
Please.
shared before, but like, so I was on an escalator for the first time, and
Right.
I was like, yay, like, this is the best. Like, what do you mean automatic stairs? Like, I don't really have to climb. I was like 8 years old or something. First time on escalator, by the way. I went to a mall and
Yeah.
recently they introduced all of us to an escalator. And I was like, well, that's pretty cool. And I went up and down for like 30 minutes until my parents were shopping. Um,
Right.
yeah. So then there came a point, the point of no return when you're sitting on a chair and you're just trying to like be funny and it moves backward to the point of no return where the life flashes in front of you like from your childhood to
हाँ
yeah
हाँ
so
समझ
that
गया
that
मैं.
yeah so that basically happened and I was about to fall down and that's when like a really pretty woman, I think she was from the US, and she held me in her arms. She was like, oh my god, are you okay? Like you were about to fall down. And I perfectly understood what she was saying, but I didn't say anything because I like, what do you mean? I can't interact with her. I can't talk in English. So that's the reason why I didn't say anything to her and I just stared at her. And she must have thought like,
Okay.
what a brat. Like I literally saved her life. She's breathing right now because of me, but she doesn't say anything. Okay. So, like this is something that happened and ever since then I've been like really careful. Like just a disclaimer,
Nice.
like just don't do these things. Like if you love your life, just yeah. That's it.
Don't do these things if you love your life.
Yeah.
Fine, fine. I wouldn't go too much onto it because I have got so
Hmm.
much of stories. again
Hmm.
escalator वाली बात हुई तो again that to have a very different story, but I'll not point it. It's your
Hmm.
question, it's your session. So two more questions, okay?
Yeah,
Is
sure.
what's your dream place you want to visit?
Hmm. Uh, Japan.
Nice one.
Yeah,
That's a good
I
one.
actually have an incident. Now I know this is rapid fire, but I just felt like I want to share because
Yeah, go ahead.
I've shared this multiple times with my friends, and they are like, let's talk about something new now. So recently, I think 3 weeks ago, I was in train. I was going from Jodhpur to Jaipur, and no, sorry, I was coming from Jaipur to Jodhpur. Doesn't matter. But yeah. So I was sitting there and there was this Japanese guy sitting in front of me around my age. And I like didn't want to judge where he's from because, like honestly, we can kind of get confused about the nationality.
Yeah.
Until and unless you are from one of those countries, you would know. Because, like other people confuse us, like Indians, Bangladeshi, Pakistani, they're not really able to differentiate, but we are. So yeah,
Exactly.
that's why I didn't want to judge. So I was just like sitting there and I was trying to like figure out where he could be from. And then from his accent, I could say for sure like he's not from here. Like,
Okay.
okay, I know he's either from South Korea or from Japan. From the accent, I knew that much. And then so I started talking to him. I was like, hey, like where are you from? And he was like, Japan. I was like, oh my God, that's so cool. Like this is the anime I watched recently. And I started blabbering all these Japanese. I shouldn't
You
have, but
should you
I
should
did.
be. You should be.
Yeah, and I was like, arigato gozaimasu. And he was like, okay, like it's chill out. I mean, that was the first Japanese guy, like or any Japanese person I met actually. So I just went crazy and we chatted for like those 5 hours. He slept in between, but apart from that, we were chatting and then we exchanged numbers. And then I just made sure, like, until he's in the city, like, he's comfortable and everything. And so, yeah, he went back to Japan. He had a great stay. Mm,
Was all of it for the rapid
mm,
questions. Thank you so much for answering all of the questions very genuinely.
yeah.
And coming back to our discussion, so
Mm,
my opinions, and because you have made your opinions about
mm,
what we as a teacher should do, as our
yeah.
what we were speaking in the last session,
Mm,
to make the learning easier for the learners. And one good thing that you pointed out, that the
mm,
things actually get started from the school, clear out that whole misconceptions, and then freshly teaching them English. So very valid point that you have mentioned, that we need to actually get it started right from the root.
mm,
How can we make it happen? I'm going to actually upload a very video of mine that I was speaking to a Colombian teacher named
mm,
Anna. I'm about to upload it today or like by tomorrow. So
mm,
she has been a Colombian teacher in Colombia. Now, somebody speaking such a good English in Colombia is not very
mm,
common. Okay. So
mm,
how they did it, or what is the system the government is applying over here, that everybody can. And I was like, why India is not implementing it? What a brilliant idea that the Colombian government is following is,
mm,
and not new, it has been happening for like last 20-15 years. That हमें पता है हमारे सरकारी स्कूल के जो टीचर्स हैं वो कितने अव्वल हैं, अव्वल दर्जे के
mm,
टीचर हैं. I'm not gonna point again anything on that, but still there are videos, so I'm not making any false claim here, so I
mm.
can say it.
Yeah.
Point is that the ones, like, we come from an English medium school, we
Mm,
have our basics at least good, if not a certified English teacher, but our basics are good enough for a child to teach English. So the public school over there reach out to the private schools into the country, into the like campaigns,
mm,
and they ask them to like create a campaign altogether who are ready to volunteer. Like the schools will select the number of students to volunteer for those public schools on a month to month basis. It will be like a 3 months of campaign or 4 months of campaign, and then that goes to another private school. And that is
mm,
how public school is making sure that that the students of the public schools are getting the right education with the like the volunteering the private students, like
mm,
asking the private students to volunteer the public school students or the kids.
mm,
I'm not gonna deep dive too much into it. Concept समझ आ गया ना?
mm,
I mean, this is something, if government is lacking behind to appoint good English speakers as a teacher from the actual traditional way of hiring, right? Or appointing the teachers in the Indian nationwide.
mm,
Yeah, this is the very बेसिक आइडिया दैट अ गवर्नमेंट कैन इम्प्लीमेंट, है ना, जो
Hmm.
टीचर टीचिंग डिपार्टमेंट में है. सो दिस इज वन थिंग दैट आई वांट टू टॉक अबाउट. एंड अब ये गवर्नमेंट करेगी, so we cannot put too much onto that. What we as an individual should be doing it is first clearing up the misconceptions.
Hmm.
Okay, and then we need to micro niche ourselves as a teacher, if at all somebody take it as a full time profession. Because यहाँ हम charity करने बैठे नहीं है. Obviously
Hmm.
I also, I'll get paid, then only I'll teach. I can teach one or two or three students at this point of time. मैं इतना बड़ा महात्मा गांधी मैं भी नहीं हूँ that मैं फ्री में इंग्लिश सिखाने चलूँ. ठीक है, होगा नहीं मुझसे. But keeping in my mind that I'm also earning the same, I'm also rewarding myself as a
Hmm.
professor, like as a into my profession, and on the same time I'm able to deliver the right value of. So again, it's a business. Like in exchange of real value, I'm getting the proper money as well. So what
Hmm.
are we about supposed to be doing? Because what I'm saying is that I'm creating a content, people from different states watching it,
Hmm.
you are creating a video, people from all over. So we are trying to reach out in a mass level. Now this is
Hmm.
something that I'm coming from a business point of view, again as a profession point of view, as a teacher, that if you're really taking it as a serious career, and if you're on the internet, try to micro niche yourself. So I'll just do a little promotion over here. Okay, so I've also started a English Academy Bangla channel because I'm from West Bengal. So I
Hmm.
started a different YouTube channel called English Academy Bangla.
Hmm.
Now, I haven't been in I was also a very introverted one. So I know Bengali because my mom is Bengali, but I don't have much Bengali friends around me, or at least the ones who can speak really good English. So what I have decided is that English Academy to chal raha hai, it's going on.
Hmm.
But if I really want to make it a business, then I need to reach out to people where I am expertise at, where I know the people, where I know the culture, where I know the mindset of the person. So I started a channel called English Academy Bangla.
Hmm.
And if you look from a teacher point of view, to make it a successful career, you're from Rajasthan, you need to attract people from Rajasthani because they will feel more connected to you. You cannot expect a Bengali like who have been a native Bengali because आप तो सबके लिए आपने academy खोली है या आपने अपनी coaching
Hmm.
center खोली है, right? जो भी सीखने आएगा. Now you think of it, somebody from a very rural area who have also got the same access to the internet watching your video but want to learn video from you but don't have the courage to reach out to you and say that I want to learn. And आप भी उसको कैसे सिखा पाओगे? Like he or she is from a very rural area with that like rigid mindset.
Hmm.
You, not as a native, will have a very difficult time, and it will be a waste
Hmm.
of time and money for both the parties.
Yeah.
So understanding from that point of view, I created that channel. Somehow I convinced one of my friends from Calcutta, and I have uploaded one video just in case
Hmm.
any Bengali viewers watch our video and who really thinks that you are good at Bengali, because I have kept it in involvement of Bengali and English. So
Hmm.
feel free to contribute, and I would be more than happy to have you on my channel, and then we would make it a good content over there. Otherwise फिर मुझे बांग्लादेशी लोग मिल रहे हैं, मैं उन्हीं को लाने वाला हूँ guys. So yeah, I'm getting,
Hmm.
and trust me, I recently watched, I have spoken to all these Bangladeshis. We cannot actually judge them in terms of their English. They are really
Hmm.
good. There have been one video that I was watching in the Instagram. This Bangladeshi girl have been able to crack band 9 in terms of the IELTS. IELTS का concept मुझे नहीं पता, but band
Hmm.
9 is a good score, is what
Yeah,
I know.
very good actually.
Common.
Hmm.
So band 9 scoring is like not easy,
Almost native. Almost native. Nine is
almost
almost
native.
native. Hmm.
And I've spoken to a couple of Bangladeshis who have been into the UK and everything
Hmm.
generally, and they're good in their English. And
Hmm.
Bengali unko aati hai. So guys, I'm finding a hard time in terms of finding Bengali speakers. So anyone who want to contribute, please feel free to reach out to me. Coming back to the point that micro niching ourselves would
Hmm.
make more sense, reaching out to
Yeah.
the right audience and then teaching it more strongly because you
Hmm.
have got your expertise of the culture from where you belong.
Hmm.
Micro niching yourself, and then the misconception that एक गलती हमने भी एक गलती when I went on to this Rajini ma'am's channel.
Hmm.
Okay. So when I share that story of mine where I've got influenced myself in terms of 4 months fluency. Now fluency in 4 months was the kind of a hook that ma'am made. Now
Hmm.
people came up with that misconception that I was able to achieve this level of fluency within 4 months. And the same thing happened in your video as well. I said it, but I should have insisted
Hmm.
in a part that if at all I was able to achieve it within 4 months, I have studied in English for like last 12, 13 years. Though I was a complete backbencher,
Hmm.
But some or the other way, everything was revolving around in English. So when I consciously started learning English, I was able to achieve, like, master it, or kind of learn it faster than a
Hmm.
normal guy from a Hindi medium school would try to do it. So
Hmm.
the concept that these people have been marketing about, that learn English on 2 to 3 months, 4 months. So
Hmm.
I used to question myself that अगर मैं किसी को सिखा रहा हूँ, मैं कैसे 2 से 4 महीने में सिखा दूंगा, मुझे तो सीखने में 4 साल लग गए.
Hmm.
So what I did, then I saw Janil sir on your channel.
Hmm.
And मुझे उनकी इंग्लिश अच्छी लगी. I saw that he is also speaking with these foreigners, so I felt like he is the guy who can answer me, the right one. So I approached him.
Hmm.
I approached him for my channel, but he said that I'm not going into the channels anymore these days, but if you want to have a call, I would. And I said, like, sir, that would also work. And I spoke with him, and
Hmm.
thanks to him again that he took out the time and spoke with me. And I was like, what are you charging it? And does it really happen that you are able to make someone teach English or fluency within 4 or 5 months? He said, no, I don't say it, I don't claim it. It is a very wrong thing. People are doing it,
Hmm.
but I don't do it. उन्होंने बोला कि मैं एक ही फीस लेता हूँ. अब मैं क्लेम नहीं करता, वो आपके इंडिविजुअल के ऊपर है. क्योंकि आप तो हमारे पास पढ़ रहे हो 1 घंटे के लिए, 2 घंटे के लिए, बट उसके बाद आप कर कितना रहे हो, एफर्ट अपना कितना इंडिविजुअल दे रहे हो एज अ लर्नर पॉइंट ऑफ व्यू. इट डिपेंड्स, एंड दैट विल ओनली डिसाइड
Hmm.
that how fast you are going to learn. So he said that I have got a student who is paying me like 4,000 from last 1.5 year, and उसको पता है that उसको time लगेगा, and we are fine with it. So guys,
Hmm.
just from a teacher point of view, that if you're coming to a teacher or me, Niyati ma'am, or whosoever, it is not possible. From my, I don't know which teacher can claim this, फिर वो तो धुरंधर होगा, but at least I don't have the ability to make anybody fluent enough within 4 to 5 months. From a
Hmm.
point of view where if you're only investing like 2 times or 3 times a week as a 1 hour session, हाँ
Hmm.
possible जरूर है. Impossible बोल के कोई चीज नहीं है, but how is that possible? Like you staying like physically having a one-on-one session, and you have
Hmm.
decided to completely dedicate yourself for the next 6 months just to learn English. Then it is possible
Hmm.
in today's time with the help of the resources and everything. So the misconception of learning English fast, it takes time. At
Hmm.
least 6 months लगेंगे just to get the basics good.
Yeah.
And again, the point coming over here is, पहली चीज तो, we need to normalize the concept of English.
Hmm.
इंडिया में, मतलब मुझे तो लगता है ये बिजनेस इंग्लिश, फिर और जो तरह तरह के इंग्लिश होते हैं, ये सारे ब्लफ हैं. आई वॉज वर्किंग एंड देन आई फॉलो couple of international teachers, and a
Hmm.
video came up with a hook. What do you do is a worst things to say. मैंने क्वेश्चन करा, मैंने कहा ये क्या बोल रही है. एंड शी क्रिएटेड अ 15 minutes of video just on this
Hmm.
whole topic. What do you do is a
Hmm.
worst things to say. What do you do का मतलब अभी तक वो भी खुद बोल रही थी होगी बिफोर क्रिएटिंग दिस कंटेंट. So
Hmm.
we are confusing it people to the core level just to get the views and to the to make our content running.
Yeah.
मतलब what do you do का मतलब समझ आ रहा है ना आपको? If I am speaking to you, क्या खराबी
Hmm.
है? इतना ही तो बोलना है.
Hmm.
इंग्लिश का वोकैबुलरीज का कलेक्शन रख के खजाना मिलने वाला है क्या सरकार से? इज व्हाट आई वाज क्वेश्चन माई सेल्फ. सो
Hmm.
गाइस, स्टे आउट ऑफ दीज पीपल immediately, because हम आई विल ट्राई माई बेस्ट to put up the genuine contents. But if you're finding these teachers, get out of that teacher, unsubscribe their channel. I'm seriously telling you.
Hmm.
अब एक बात बताओ, एज एन इंटरनेशनल टीचर हैविंग मिलियंस ऑफ फॉलोअर्स, शी इज अ वेरी वेल नोन टीचर. आई एम नॉट गोना टेक द नेम, एंड आई लाइक हर कंटेंट माई सेल्फ. इफ आई हैव सब्सक्राइब्ड इट अननेसेसरी, मैं भी
Hmm.
किसी को सब्सक्राइब नहीं करता, बट जैसे उन्होंने
Hmm.
ये वीडियो पुट अप किया ना,
Hmm.
यार सब बनाने में लगे हैं. सो दैट मेड मी लिटिल बिट फील लाइक I am trying to normalize things here as much as possible for my, अब let's say 4 स्टूडेंट मेरे देख के आके वो थिंक कि सर व्हाट डू यू डू, तो आप सिखा रहे हो, एंड ये तो वो मैम बोल रही है, विच इज अगेन
Hmm.
फार मोर रिस्पेक्टेबल टीचर देन मी. अब उस चीज को मैं कैसे उनको कन्वे करूंगा? तुम एक फ्रेज सीख लोगे, बाकी की इंग्लिश कब सीखोगे? सो वी नीड टू फर्स्ट एम्प्टी आवर ब्रेन गाइस. We need to first
Hmm.
empty our brain in terms of the concept that we have made up in our mind, that English ऐसे सीखी जाएगी या इस लेवल की. India
Hmm.
as a country with 150 billion, like 1.5 billion population, we need to understand that our basics has to be really strong before we opt out. I'm not saying that, I mean, obviously, like think of it, a nation with people speaking English as like Shashi Tharoor, sir, Shashi Tharoor, sir,
Hmm.
okay?
Hmm.
That, but उससे पहले आप अपनी बेसिक्स तो सही करो.
Hmm.
और बेसिक्स पे कोई फोकस नहीं कर रहा है और डिस्ट्रैक्ट करने में लगे. What to the people that I'll say is that start learning with the basics, and learning basics is really really good. I mean, from a teacher point of view, what I'm telling Niyati is that as a teacher also we should be focusing on the basic level of English. I mean, जो ये courses भी है ना, advanced English C1 level, C2 level, मेरे को ये bluffs
Hmm.
लगते हैं. The point is, अब if I'm coming back to the example that एक बंदा आया मेरे पास who's a software engineer from a corporate background working on a very
Hmm.
reputable company. मतलब उसको खुद में रियलाइज नहीं है कि वो कितनी अच्छी इंग्लिश बोल रहा है, मुझे उसको उससे सीखनी चाहिए, राइट?
Hmm.
बट दैट अंडर कॉन्फिडेंस इज देयर विद इन हिम. हम जब इंग्लिश के ये कॉन्सेप्ट से ही बाहर नहीं निकलेंगे, कम्युनिकेशन हम कब सीखेंगे? बिकॉज एट द एंड ऑफ द डे कम्युनिकेशन इज द की. अगर आपको बात
Hmm.
नहीं करना आता, आप हिंदी में भी फिर लोगों पे वो इम्पैक्ट नहीं कर पाओगे विच यू वांट टू डू इन योर करियर और यू वांट टू डू इन योर पर्सनल लाइफ. नाउ
Hmm.
लेट्स इफ आई वांट टू स्टार्ट क्रिएटिंग अ वीडियो ऑन कम्युनिकेशन, लर्न दिस कम्युनिकेशन इन दिस वे दैट वे, इंसान का दिमाग पड़ जाएगा. यहाँ
Yeah.
टीचर्स लगे पड़े हैं इंग्लिश सिखाने में, फिर यहाँ एक अब ये कॉन्सेप्ट मैं बोल रहा हूँ एज अ अब कि भाई इंग्लिश और कम्युनिकेशन अब दो चीजें अलग कैसे हो गई.
Hmm.
एक और
Yeah,
एज अ
just
लर्नर पॉइंट ऑफ व्यू.
yeah, I don't want to
यस.
interrupt, but like this is such a recent thing that somebody came up to me and he was like, I was not able to crack interview because of my English. And I was like, are you sure it was the English? Or is it like you
यस.
right now lack the skills to crack the interview? Because a lot of times people blame it on English language. I'm not able to do public speaking because of English. I'm not able to crack interviews because of English. I'm not able to get a job because
एग्जैक्टली.
of English. Well, are you sure? Because like, so I was like, what's your native language? It's Hindi. So are you able to speak in Hindi? For example, debate competition or essay, whatever. Like you have to
एग्जैक्टली.
speak for like 5 minutes. Can you do that in Hindi? So people don't even know the root cause. People don't even know whether it's because of the language. Maybe so that's why I 100% agree with you. So people that say that I teach business English, what do you mean? English is English. If you know English and
दैट्स द पॉइंट.
yeah, so you require different skill sets for cracking an interview. It's not English.
The whole point is this, guys. And what I'm trying to make here is that start learning with the very basics and not do not try to learn. I mean, I'm not saying it, but get your basics इतना बढ़िया, and
Hmm.
then focus on communication first, and then again opt out for learning. Now, what am I doing?
Yeah.
अभी तक मेरी basic English is very good to a core where I know I'm a great communicator. अब व्हाट आई एम डूइंग इज दैट कि कल के दिन कोई आईआईटी आईएम का बंदा आ गया, तो अब आई हैव टेकन द इनिशिएटिव इज दैट चलो लेट्स डू द ईएसएल सर्टिफिकेशन. आई एम लुकिंग इनटू
Hmm.
इट. अभी आई एम थिंकिंग ऑफ गेटिंग माई सेल्फ ईएसएल सर्टिफाइड और टोफल सर्टिफाइड. आईएल्स वाला कैसा सीन होता है, आई एम स्टडिंग दीज थिंग्स बिकॉज आई एम
Hmm.
टेकिंग इट एज अ करियर पॉइंट ऑफ व्यू, राइट?
Hmm.
So that people often come up with this. So I never do any traditional way of teaching in my class. So in my class, like
Hmm.
let's say you came in, so any person calls me and says like, what are the curriculums of your English classes? मैंने कहा भाई यही
Hmm.
curriculum है, ये जो अभी हमने फोन पे बातें करी ना, me trying to
Hmm.
explain you, ये भी क्लास ही है.
Hmm.
My students will watch it, they would know it. मैंने कहा कोई ऐसे ट्रायल क्लास वायल क्लास नहीं होगा है ना, ऐसे ही सिखाऊंगा मैं. इंग्लिश में बातें कर
Hmm.
ली, दैट इज द क्लास एंड नथिंग एल्स. सो वी स्पोक ऑन रैंडम थिंग्स इन इंग्लिश एंड एक घंटा निकल जाता है एंड हो गया क्लास एंड पीपल आर हैप्पी विद
Hmm.
इट. पॉइंट इज आई डोंट स्पीक rubbish things. Along with English, I try to share genuine things. So get your
Hmm.
smart, I mean, people get yourself smart. As a teacher, I keep getting myself updated with the new trends. अब एक सेशन पे, बिकॉज माई वे ऑफ टीचिंग इज नॉट ट्रेडिशनल, सो व्हाट आई से इज दैट
Hmm.
हम कितनी बातें करेंगे. सो व्हाट आई सेड इज दैट, एंड माई होल पॉइंट ऑलवेज हैव बीन एज अ टीचर इज दैट नॉट मेक देम डिपेंडेबल अपॉन मी.
Hmm.
मैं यही बोलता हूँ दैट आई हैव लर्नड इंग्लिश फ्रॉम द इंटरनेट. Resources are available, I'll just teach them in these duration of 5 or 6 months the best way to make the best use out of these resources that are available in the internet,
Hmm.
right? So I tell them that go use these applications, find yourself a partner. अब वो होते नहीं है तो मैं उनको लाइव कॉल करके दिखाता हूँ those applications.
Hmm.
एंड फिर मैं अभी अभी रिसेंटली आई स्टार्टेड डूइंग इट फ्रॉम पास्ट 1 वीक. आई डिड इट विद कपल ऑफ माय स्टूडेंट्स. लाइव आई एम मेकिंग कॉल्स ओवर देयर. Live I am connecting with people on WhatsApp, and I'm just taking out the fear. So things has to be more practical than you suggesting कि use this app, use that app. करके दिखाओ आप, वो ज़्यादा genuinity feel होगा on an
Hmm.
individual level. That's something I'm doing it. And along with that, I tell them यार हम दोनों कितनी बातें करेंगे. एज अ टीचर आई एम टेलिंग यू दैट ये 1 घंटा तेरा है, तू 4 और बंदे ला ले एज अ पार्टनर.
Hmm.
Everybody in India is looking for a good speaker.
Yeah.
You are not a good speaker. Market me as a one of your friend teacher, whosoever you want to. That I have a person that we practice English together, and if you would like to be a part of that particular group. And
Hmm.
individual level पे ला तो अपने 4 दोस्तों को, हम मिल के बातें करेंगे, चीजें सीखेंगे. मैंने कहा इससे ज्यादा और क्या अपॉर्चुनिटी दूं मैं. So these are
Hmm.
the new things that I'm implementing in my classes, and I've said it to my students, and we are doing it, and I'm sure it will go better than the traditional way of teaching.
Hmm.
So this is something as a point that I wanted to make, and I think we are almost done with the points of correct way of teaching English. Guys, learn English and then become a teacher, not from a career point of view, take it as a side hustle or jo bhi hai. But again,
Hmm.
India is the future. Take it your responsibility to learn good English and then teach good English. बाहर के लोग अगर अपना पैसा इन्वेस्ट करेंगे, कोई जापानीज कंपनी इंडिया में आ रही है, जापानीज सीखते सीखते समय लग जाएगा. बट द वेरी फर्स्ट थिंग दैट दे वुड एक्सपेक्ट यू टू बी गुड एट इंग्लिश, बिकॉज कम्युनिकेशन
Hmm.
ही सही नहीं रही तो बिजनेस कहाँ से करेंगे. द वेरी
Yeah.
बेसिक थिंग दैट आई फेल्ट विद इन मी. तो पैसा फिर भी साइड रख दो, बट इफ यू आर लाइक मोर पेट्रियोटिक एंड वांट टू डू गुड, आई यूज टू फील कि क्या ऐसा करें. आई एम थिंकिंग विद माई नॉलेज एंड दिस इज व्हाट आई एम कंट्रीब्यूटिंग टू द कंट्री, कंट्रीब्यूटिंग टू द people, as a serving nature,
Hmm.
if I say, have to say that आपको पैसा तो मिलेगा ही, बाय डिफॉल्ट मिलेगा. पैसा इज अ वेरी बाय डिफॉल्ट थिंग वेदर यू मेक इट और नॉट. बट
Hmm.
इंग्लिश सीखना आपका रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी है फॉर दिस पर्टिकुलर कंट्री, एंड ऑन द सेम टाइम सिखाना उससे भी बड़ी कंट्रीब्यूशन है, बिकॉज
Hmm.
वी नीड गुड इंग्लिश स्पीकर्स.
Yeah.
ठीक है.
No, so but
सो
that's like a really good motivation for people, right? Like you are learning English, but also earning from that. Because you learn English, now you can earn from English. How cool is that? So I think that, I mean, for India's perspective, we can say for sure, if we include the earning point in anything, people like instantly perk up, like, yo, what's going on? I want to be in. So yeah, no, that's a really good point that you mentioned.
मैंने सब दे दिया आपको पॉइंट मैम. मतलब
Hmm.
ऐसा है कि आपको मैंने पैसों का भी पॉइंट दे दिया, आपको मैंने जेन्युइनिटी का भी पॉइंट दे दिया, आपको मैंने पेट्रियोटिज्म का भी पॉइंट दे दिया. बट इंग्लिश
Yeah.
सीखना कितना जरूरी है और सिखाना कितना जरूरी है, ये समझना जरूरी है हमको.
Hmm.
अब आप चॉइस कर लो आपको क्या चाहिए. एज अ बिजनेस पॉइंट ऑफ व्यू, अभी आई एम ऑल्सो लुकिंग ऑन द बिजनेस पॉइंट ऑफ व्यू. अब मैं तो धंधे वाला हूँ भाई, तो मैं तो
Hmm.
पैसा भी देखता हूँ, सिंपल एज दैट. सो दिस वॉज द थिंग. आई वुड मेक आउट वन लास्ट पॉइंट बिफोर दैट. इफ यू वांट टू से समथिंग, माइक इज ऑल योर्स. उसके बाद विल एंड दिस सेशन. एनीथिंग
No,
दैट यू
it's
वांट टू
okay.
मेंशन,
No.
because my mind is already very blank. I have, and so coming to the one last point before we end the session,
Hmm.
Niyati,
Hmm.
is I'm not going to talk about our education system. कर ली हमने बहुत बातें,
Hmm.
teachers, everything. Something that I felt that what is happening is that our youth is getting distracted. I
Hmm.
was speaking to this Chinese guy. So just understand how deep rooted they are within their culture and how pride they
Hmm.
take within that their culture. तो कुछ तो नेम का लेके सीन हुआ था, that he kept a very weird name of his in English, which sounded
Hmm.
like a toothpaste. So he said that I actually translated it in Chinese, the meaning of the Chinese, and then in English. मतलब उसके कहने का मतलब है that हमारे यहाँ जो डोमिनोज भी है ना,
Hmm.
वो डोमिनोज DOMINIOS नहीं है. उसको हम चाइनीज में ट्रांसलेट करते हैं, एंड
Hmm.
देन जो हमारे यहाँ डोमिनोज है वो चाइनीज लैंग्वेज में होता है, वो इंग्लिश में नहीं होता.
Hmm.
तो दे टेक सच ए प्राइड इन देयर कल्चर.
Yeah.
पॉइंट इज व्हाट आई एम ट्राइंग टू मेक.
Hmm.
अगेन, why am I speaking about the culture over the education is, बाहर तो जो हो रहा है एजुकेशन में, द
Hmm.
यूनिवर्सिटीज आर डूइंग दिस दैट. लेट्स टॉक अबाउट आर कल्चर, और आई हैव नेवर सीन एनी वीडियोज आउट देयर इन द इंटरनेट। मतलब आजकल बहुत वीडियोस दिख रहे हैं, दे आर टीचिंग स्पिरिचुअलिटी, और
Hmm.
बहुत सारे पॉडकास्ट दैट आई आल्सो कीप वाचिंग, दैट get into the bhakti sadhana of this particular deity, right? You
Hmm.
do those mantras, japs, and all kinds of things. Those are very personal things. But आज जो हम ये बातें भी कर रहे हैं ना, these knowledges that came into me,
Hmm.
मतलब let me ask you something. पूरे स्कूल में, which was to be that one day in a year, this whole year, where you used to go to your school in the civil dresses, कलर ड्रेस में। मतलब मैं बहुत एक्साइटेड होता था क्योंकि उस दिन मुझे कलर ड्रेस पे पहन के जाने को मिलेगा स्कूल पे। लिटरली दैट इज द ओनली डे दैट वी यूज्ड टू गेट
Hmm.
दैट अपॉर्चुनिटी इन आवर स्कूल।
Hmm. For me,
आपके
it
स्कूल में
was
कौन सा
like
डे होता है?
only during the birthdays, and that was also up only until fifth grade, not after that. So,
सो इन माई स्कूल वो होता था सरस्वती पूजा पे।
hmm.
ठीक है, सरस्वती पूजा पे होता था वो। तो मुझे इतना ही पता था सरस्वती माँ के बारे में, दैट ये किताब पे पाँव लग जाए ना तो हम इसको ऐसे करते थे, ऐसे ऐसे
Hmm.
करते थे। ये किताब पे पाँव लग जाए, एंड सरस्वती पूजा में अच्छे कपड़े पहन के जाना है हम। लाइक दिस इज द ओनली थिंग दैट आई न्यू अबाउट, लाइक द गॉडेस ऑफ नॉलेज दैट वी से। सो इन टुडेज टाइम, वी एज एन इंडिविजुअल तो हमको पता है, बट आर कल्चर हैव बीन सेइंग दिस, दैट वी नो हु आर द गॉडेस ऑफ नॉलेज। एज एन टीचर और एज अ लर्नर,
Hmm.
नाउ सी अगेन, आई एम नॉट ट्राइंग टू मेक इट वेरी साउंड रिलीजियस। आई मीन किसी के रिलीजन में अगर कुछ, एंड ट्राई टू अंडरस्टैंड इट, दो आई एम लाइक कन्फ्रंटिंग इट एज मोर ऑफ अ कल्चरल एंड रिलीजियस बेसिस, बट आई एम अ काइंड ऑफ अ पर्सन who don't speak with things based on the religious way or like the logical, like on the cultural way. I talk about the facts which I'm going to share it. And
Hmm.
even if you don't believe in God, or as a Saraswati Ma and everything, try to understand it in the mean of vibrations. At least Sanskrit as a language, NASA is studying it to create
Hmm.
vibrations. This is a proven fact. So
Hmm.
Sanskrit as a whole language, with each and every word having carrying multiple vibrations, which has the some or the ability, some or the other ability to create a different portal of your consciousness. Knowledge is one of the portals, right? And take it in that way. And if any religion has their own language with such vibrations, they can also find it and then they can start doing it. But again,
Yeah.
I'm in India, and then I know my culture and my religion, so I'm going to talk about
Hmm.
this thing. So the
Hmm.
goddess of knowledge that we talk about, माँ सरस्वती जी का,
Hmm.
इस इनके बारे में कोई बात नहीं करता, एंड वी आर लूजिंग इट आज के टाइम पे। मैं बच्चों से पूछता हूँ ना, आपको पता है कि हु इज द गॉडेस ऑफ नॉलेज, जो ज्ञान की देवी कौन है? जो मेरे ट्रेडिशनल फैमिलीज से होते हैं, जहाँ पे मुझे पता था, आजकल के पेरेंट्स उनको वो भी नहीं सिखा रहे हैं। दे आर लूजिंग होल थिंग। सो इफ एनीबडी थिंक्स दैट नॉलेज इज अ क्रिएशन ऑफ ह्यूमन, इज अ रॉन्ग थिंग। नॉलेज इज अ क्रिएशन ऑफ, जो हमको नॉलेज वी कैन कैरी, और द मेमोरीज दैट वी कैन कैरी,
Hmm.
इट इज द इन्वॉल्वमेंट ऑफ गॉड, गॉडेस सरस्वती। जो कहते हैं ना, इन एवरी 24 आवर्स हर इंसान के जुबा पे माँ सरस्वती विराजमान होती है। वी
Hmm.
से इट, योर इफ
Hmm.
योर मॉम सीज शी वुड नो इट। तो द होल पॉइंट दैट आई एम ट्राइंग टू मेक इट इज दैट कि मैं कितना भी क्लेम कर दूं कि मैं आपको इंग्लिश सिखा दूंगा, या एक बंदा कितना भी धुरंधर हो, अगर आप पे इस पर्टिकुलर डीटी की कृपा नहीं रहेगी ना, आप कुछ नहीं कर सकते। ट्रस्ट में, आई एम टेलिंग यू। एंड व्हाई एम आई इंसिस्टिंग, व्हाट आई एम ट्राइंग टू मेक द होल पॉइंट इज दैट एवरी एजुकेशन सेंटर, राइट फ्रॉम द बेसिक लेवल, जो सबसे पहले आता है व्हेन इट कम्स टू नॉलेज, नॉट ओनली इन इंग्लिश, हम
Hmm.
वो भूल जा रहे हैं। आप कुछ भी सिखा दो, सबसे पहले तो कल्चर आता है, जो
Hmm.
एक्चुअल में हु इज द रिस्पॉन्सिबल वन फॉर एवरी इंडिविजुअल, एवरी सोल। If you will not have the blessings of that particular deity, trust me, you won't have thing. And now, why am I talking about this all of a sudden?
Hmm.
मुझे पता है मैं क्या था 5 साल पहले, 5 से 6 साल पहले, trust me. And I've recently said that in on last video as well, that I was a complete non-vegetarian, a complete backbencher, living life with no rules. Nothing existed for me. Okay, I was must mauler kind of a person. So somebody told me. So this is my personal experience. Now I'm not saying
Hmm.
that guys you start doing it, but it is my personal experience. अगर आज लोगों ने इतना प्यार दिया है आपके चैनल पे, किसी के चैनल पे, या लोग आज चार लोग मेरी इज्जत करते हैं फॉर एनी मैटर, It is
Hmm.
all because of the blessings of that God that I feel, and nobody is talking about it. So somebody, some guy in my life, my mentor told me that तू एक काम कर, तू ना सरस्वती चालीसा पढ़ना चालू कर. एंड फ्रॉम पास्ट 7 years आई एम डूइंग इट. हर दिन मैं करता हूँ,
Hmm.
रोज सुबह उठ के, जो भी एज अ रिचुअल, जिस भी भगवान की मैं पूजा करूँ, बट मैं सरस्वती चालीसा का पाठ करता हूँ.
Hmm.
एंड आज जब मैं ये बैठ के सोचता हूँ ना, अभी रिसेंटली जो मेरी वीडियो है वो रशियन के साथ, यू वोंट
Hmm.
बिलीव, उस पे मैं बात कर रहा था कि वी रिमेंबर आवर कॉन्वर्सेशन एंड एवरीथिंग. तो वो हमारी मेरी कॉन्वर्सेशन भूल गई, मेरी डिटेल्स भूल गई, जो एक हमने बातें करी थी, विच इज कॉमन
Yeah, I
अगेन.
saw that
बट
video.
राइट, मैंने उसकी
Yeah.
मम्मी की भी वो चीजें बता दी, तो मुझे
Hmm.
कभी फील ही नहीं हुआ कि ये चीजें मेरे अंदर आई कैसे. बिकॉज
Hmm.
मुझे मुझे पता था ना मैं क्या था 5 साल पहले.
Hmm.
एंड आई व्हेन आई स्टार्टेड नोटिसिंग दिस थिंग्स, आई वाज लाइक हो क्या रहा है ये, इट इज नॉट वेरी कॉमन. एंड कॉमन
Hmm.
होता तो फिर वो दिखता ना मुझे. सो आई एक्चुअली एनालाइज्ड इट कि ये मेरे साथ ही हो रहा है या अदर लोगों के साथ भी हो रहा है, अदर लोगों के भी साथ हो रहा है ना.
Hmm.
एंड दैट वाज द होल पॉइंट. सो आई रियलाइज्ड कि ये होना कब से चालू हुआ. एंड फिर मैंने पूरा लॉजिकल जोड़ा,
Hmm.
एंड दिस हैज हैपेंड. नाउ आई एम नॉट सेइंग कि मैं ये हो गया तो आप भी हो जाओगे एंड दिस एंड दैट, बट एटलीस्ट एज अ कल्चर पॉइंट ऑफ व्यू इट इज टू द पेरेंट्स हु आर वाचिंग इट, टीच इट टू
Hmm.
योर किड्स. बट अगर आप जो द गॉड, जो एक्चुअल द क्रिएटर ऑफ नॉलेज है, उनकी ही इज्जत आप नहीं करना सिखा रहे हो और आप खुद नहीं कर रहे हो, फिर ऑल
Hmm.
दिस नॉलेजेस आर ब्लफ, ट्रस्ट मी. फिर ज्ञान के लिए तो नॉलेज सब जगह है, चार चीजें रील्स पे देख के कोई भी बातें कर लेगा. बट इफ
Yeah.
एट ऑल यू वांट अ रियल चेंज इन योर लाइफ, English is
Hmm.
a very common and minimal thing. Trust me, it will open doors of opportunities for you in every aspect of your
Hmm.
life. मतलब आप ये सोच के देखो, हमारे हिंदू धर्म में ना एक चीज कहते हैं, 12 साल आप किसी भी डीटी की पूजा कर लो ना, इट इज कम्प्लीटली, यू आर अ सर्टिफाइड practitioner or a devotee as per the our the religious books, okay, that I'm talking
Hmm.
about. आपने 12 साल किसी चीज की साधना कर ली ना, देन यू आर अ डिजर्विंग वन. अब
Hmm.
मैं 7 साल से कर रहा हूँ, दैट आई स्टार्टेड फ्रॉम द एज ऑफ 16. आई एम येट टू, एंड आई एम एक्चुअली ट्राइंग टू इम्प्लीमेंट इट, और आई एम गोना इम्प्लीमेंट इट. अभी तो मैं नहीं कर रहा हूँ, बट द मोमेंट इंग्लिश अकेडमी गोज ऑन अ मास स्केल, आई एम गोइंग टू
Hmm.
इम्प्लीमेंट इट. एंड इट विल बी अ वेरी मैंडेटरी रूल फॉर मी एटलीस्ट.
Hmm.
ठीक है. एंड आई नेवर केम अप ऑन द इंटरनेट एंड सेड दिस थिंग्स बिकॉज आई नेवर यूज टू टेल, आई यूज टू शो माई सेल्फ कॉमेडी लाइक जॉली knowledgeable everything, but I never used to show this part of my life ever. Recently
Yeah.
I felt it because I watched couple of videos and I was like, youth जा कहाँ रहा है, बच्चे जा कहाँ रहे हैं.
Hmm.
अब एज अ टीचर जब मैंने ये रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी ली तो वो दर्द फील हुआ, एंड दैट इज व्हेन आई फेल्ट
Hmm.
लाइक आई विल शेयर दिस पर्टिकुलर थिंग.
Yeah.
एंड आप ये मान के चलो कि कोई एक बच्चा नर्सरी से ये कर रहा है, जो ठीक है, हमारे नेशनल एंथम्स हैं, सारी चीज़ें हैं, जस्ट आप एक चीज़ समझ लो ना, एकदम बेसिक. अगर एज अ पार्ट ऑफ डेली करिकुलम,
Hmm.
जो कि होता है, इट इज़ नॉट समथिंग दैट आई एम टॉकिंग अबाउट, जो हमारे गुरुकुल्स हैं और सारी चीज़ें यहाँ होता है ये सारी चीज़ें. बट इफ आई एम टॉकिंग अबाउट द बेसिक आर एजुकेशन सिस्टम दैट इज हैपनिंग हियर, आप ये सोच लो एक बच्चा जो एक फ्रेशनेस फील करेगा, वो जो वाइब्रेशंस होंगी, एंड अगेन
Hmm.
आई एम ओनली टॉकिंग अबाउट फ्रॉम अ पॉइंट ऑफ साइंटिफिक वे, बिकॉज
Yeah.
हमारा कल्चर इज नॉट अ वेरी ट्रेडिशनल कल्चर, इट हैज बीन मोर साइंटिफिक. वी गेव इट अ नेम एज मोर ऑफ अ ट्रेडिशनल कल्चर और
Yeah.
हिंदू धर्म एंड एवरीथिंग, बट इट हैज बीन वेरी
Hmm.
साइंटिफिक राइट फ्रॉम द वेरी एग्जिस्टेंस ऑफ इट. ठीक है.
Hmm.
तो जस्ट थिंक अबाउट द वाइब्रेशंस. अगर वो बच्चा नर्सरी से क्लास 12 तक स्कूल में, अगर वो एजुकेशन सिस्टम रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटीज ले रहे हैं ये करवाने का डे टू डे करिकुलम एक्टिविटीज में,
Hmm.
है ना, वो 12 साल बाद वो वाइब्रेशन एंड दैट ऑरा दैट द पर्सन विल हैव इट विद इन अराउंड. ये जो डिप्रेशन एंड एवरीथिंग का ये जो कल्चर है ना, आज तक मुझे खुद फील नहीं हुआ
Hmm.
डिप्रेशन होता क्या है. मतलब डिप्रेशन का वर्ड भी मुझे पता नहीं था, अगर कभी मैं रहा हुआ होऊंगा डिप्रेशन में,
Hmm.
मतलब ये कभी फील नहीं हुआ, ट्रस्ट मी आई एम टेलिंग यू. एंड आई नो
Hmm.
व्हाट आई वाज 5 years back, and the moment I started doing this particular thing, the blessings
Yeah.
I know personally how I felt it within me. So this was just a small piece of things that I'll say, and the
Hmm.
next things is that वो तो बहुत सारी चीजें मिली in life that I'm not gonna
Hmm.
talk about. But the whole point is that guys, we need to get our basics good.
Hmm.
इंग्लिश की बेसिक एक तरफ, लाइफ के प्रिंसिपल्स, इंटेग्रिटी, एंड दैट द कल्चर दैट वी आर लूजिंग इट, try to
Hmm.
grab it. I'm literally not trying to make it any religious concept over here, but this is something, मतलब जो भगवान है ना हमारे धर्म के, भगवानों ने भी इस चीज की पूजा पहले करी है, तब जाके they have become this thing. So the goddess of knowledge
Hmm.
has been in the creation before the deities that we are, worshipping right now.
Hmm.
I personally worship Hanumanji, and there's this entire whole thing, where Hanumanji has worshipped Ma Saraswati.
Hmm.
So before Hanumanji even considered as a deity and everything, right? So a simple request to an individual youth like me or parents and everything, at least the ones who is accepting this, the facts that I'm talking about, that start implementing, guys. Start being little responsible towards yourself, to your loved ones, and see how things goes.
Yeah.
Saying that, we will, and from my side, I have delivered everything that I could have, Niyati. So I'm done with
Hmm.
the session for now, unless you have to say anything.
Yeah, no, it was an awesome session, not just for the viewers, I think for me as well. And even if like people don't really believe in these things, what to sum it up, even in scientific way, I think it was about change of mind. Uh, Practicing mindfulness that changes the person. Like if um,
अब मैं इतना नहीं
I mean, if we
बोलूंगा,
say it like
क्योंकि
if your man is asthir, you're not really going to be able to learn English. So yeah, that's what I get from that. And yeah, I
point
think we could,
is,
yeah.
even if it gets controversial for some at some point, I mean, it's fine. I'm not going to exaggerate or justify it that I was not trying to be religious and everything. I mean,
Hmm.
I was just trying to, the only intent was to give you the right information. So the ones who would know it,
Hmm.
they would not make any, drama out of it. And thank you guys if you guys have watched till the end. And do let us know your things in the comments and everything. So let's see how this things goes. Anyways,
Hmm.
Niyati, I'm leaving. Take care.
Yeah. Okay. Have a great day ahead or evening actually. Yeah.
You as
It's
well.
already
You as well.
yeah.